Self.
To sell.
Yeah! Hey everyone, welcome back to Cells to Sell. My name is Heem, that's Nick, and we have a special guest with us here today. This is Samita.
Yeah.
You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Gazi Amena Noor Samita, and I go by Samita.
That is a long name.
Yeah.
That is a long name.
Yeah, I told you.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, we're happy to have you on today. So yeah, we're just gonna do like a quick interview like we've done with some past guests like Ryan and Hong, and just again we're bringing people in to learn about them and just to understand the complexity of people and the amount of people in this field. So go ahead and just like, what's your background? Where are you from? Where did you go to school before you came to Case?
Yeah.
Undergrad, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I've lived most of my life. I was born and raised in Bangladesh, Dhaka. That's the capital city, and I came here mainly for my undergrad. I joined Missouri State University for my undergrad, and I was doing microbiology, but I was mostly interested in genetics and how, like, molecular biology. Honestly, after I joined a lab over there, I really got fond of like research and how I really saw how science played in our lives, and that got me interested in pursuing further, like in academia. And I joined after like learning about RGME, that's like Regenerative Medicine and Entrepreneurship. In Case Western Reserve University, I was like really interested, like
So how
seeing
did you
that.
how did you find the program?
Yeah.
That is an interesting question.
Yeah.
So I knew about Case Western through one of the current students. He's also from Bangladesh, and I did not know about Case at all. Like I was like, wow, it's like really good school, but it's really underrated.
It is so
like
good.
the advertisements are like so less.
I know.
And that explains like they spend most of their money on research, and
Yeah.
they don't have like time to like really go out there and do a lot of like recruiting people. But after that, I found this program, and I messaged the program director, Melanie. She is an amazing
She's
person.
awesome.
Yeah,
Great.
she.
We all
I know
love her.
we owe a lot to her, and
Yeah.
she's amazing. She was there throughout the process. Even now, I can email and she'll just tell me what to do, and she's very personal about everyone. And
Oh yeah.
after that, and she set up an interview, and I really didn't know that was an interview. That was like crazy to me because there was a time difference, and I really am grateful for in the interview. During like it was pandemic, and everyone wasn't on internet, and the server was overloaded, and my internet crashed in. My internet was down in middle of my interview, and I joined like 30 minutes late. Even after that,
Even after that.
even
They're
after
so
that,
understanding.
they were like Dr. Bonfil. She was waiting for me.
Oh my.
I cannot. Like, I thought I joined actually 30 minutes later. I thought that I would be like, I'm early. And no, there's like no problem. Like, if I joined like 30 minutes earlier, and I saw that I'm actually 30 minutes later.
Oh god.
Yeah.
The time, yeah.
The time difference. And I was in the central time zone.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, during that time, I just had like little like spur of 15 minutes, good 15 minutes in the beginning before my internet went down. And they asked me what I wanted to do, and I told them I was interested in like science and business as well. And reading the program description, it really it felt like it's talking to me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I was excited reading that, and I was like, it felt like a miracle in
I
some
know.
way, because I didn't know this exists anywhere. I don't know if
definitely.
it does it.
Did you know about stem cells at MSU?
I did. I took a development biology class, and development biology is some like stem cells, regenerative sciences is sort of like a part of development biology. And I worked at a cardiovascular development lab over there. my research, I worked in that lab for 2 years with
Nice.
Dr. Judan, and he trained me completely, like, from start to finish.
It's awesome.
He was an amazing mentor, and right now he changed his job. He's the program director in MD Anderson Cancer Center. Yeah, he's a
Nice.
big guy now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love that.
That's really cool.
And
That's a great connection.
he's an amazing person. Like, he's so down to earth. He would help anyone going in his way, and I learned how to do like mice harvesting from there. And he killed them. He sacrificed the mice for me. Thankfully, I didn't have to do that. But
And then you would harvest everything else.
yeah,
that
I
you
would
needed to?
like I learned. He was there with me the entire time when I learned the mice harvest. It was I found it was awesome. I feel like it was a very, very new trajectory in my career that I learned how to do yolk sac harvesting. It's like very sophisticated under the microscope thing, and it was amazing. After that, my journey in case. So I joined.
Wait, so let's do a little timeline thing, okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
For those who don't know, Samita said she's from Bangladesh, so that means she's an international student.
Yes.
When you're an international student, you have to be on a visa.
Mm-hmm.
So when your undergrad ends, so that means you're on a student visa.
Yes.
So after that, you either find a job, so you stay here on a job visa, or you continue to be a student.
Yeah.
Now, did you think of med school at all, and what drove you to masters?
Yeah. So since I was interested in research, mostly interested in PhD programs, but I thought that my knowledge in science, biology in general, was not enough for me to pursue PhD at that time. So I thought doing a master's will be a good intersection for me to go to a master's program instead of committing to a long it's a commitment basically for 4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years.
Yeah, and
Try 6 or 7.
Yeah, it could be
it's
longer.
crazy, and I really wanted to be sure of what I'm doing next. And it was good for me that this time zone, I also my main goal was to develop a research institute in Bangladesh. So that was the reason why I liked this program for entrepreneurship side, because it really is very personal. It's a journey that you are in integration of science and business, like how to really use that information to get it out in the market.
Yeah, that's one thing we don't talk about enough on this podcast.
Yeah.
Being cells to sell.
I
The
know.
second cell is talking about the entrepreneurship part
Absolutely,
and taking
yeah.
things to market. And that's when it's, what we're trying to do is kind of lay a basis. When we talk about, eventually when we start talking about induced pluripotent stem cells and how we can apply those to a bunch of different things and how you can take those from bench to bedside and all through all that regulatory pathway, it's really hard to talk about that without understanding or having an episode or a couple episodes on IPSCs. So we definitely need to start moving kind of into the entrepreneurship part because it's really important.
Yeah.
And I think from my experience where I'm from, that mindset is not as adopted as it is here. Everybody here, they do research because they want to go through the FDA, they want to get a drug on the market.
Yeah.
Where I'm from, a lot of people are just like, oh, we're going to research this and write a paper and put it in,
They're not
nature.
translating
In
it to
nature.
anything.
They're not,
Exactly,
and
yeah.
I feel like I have never heard of a place other than Stanford, Yale, Harvard, maybe even kind of UCLA, West Coast out there, Silicon Valley, of where they're taking these students and they're trying to say, hey, your ideas are great, your basis in science is great. What are you going to do with it?
Exactly.
Papers don't make, put food on the table.
Yeah, it does.
Right?
Yeah.
Papers might get you more funding for your lab, but if you can't sell that or have a small startup and sell it to medium or big pharma, then what's...
Exactly. It just stays in academia.
Well, it's not what's the point? Obviously academia is great, but at the same time, we got to have those people who push it forward. And I know people in my year who have goals of coming here, learning the science, learning the entrepreneurship part, and going back home and opening up their own labs because no one else is doing this. No, there are very few people around the world doing this.
Exactly.
So I think that this program is awesome, and it's funny how we all kind of just like fell into
Exactly.
it. It wasn't like
Yeah.
we were undergrads and we were like, I found this as a sophomore and I knew I was applying here as a junior. I didn't even take we were like, no. We didn't know what to do after undergrad.
Yeah.
And we just all, I don't know how many are, there's
It
probably
sucks 'cause,
25 of us.
Some
Yeah.
people ask me like, "Yo, how'd you find it? What'd you do and stuff?" And I'm like, "Dude,
It was
first
a mass email.
It sounds
fail your
like-
MCAT.
yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
So fail your MCAT, and then
Oh.
and then like try applying everywhere. Like it's just so difficult to tell somebody.
Yeah,
like,
this was the only place that I applied to. I was like, if I don't get in here, like
This is
I'm
my
just
second
gonna,
option.
I was like, if I don't get in here,
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
And look, I got in.
That's
So,
true. And it's really like I like that we have the flexibility to do anything, like go in any field.
I think that it speaks on like not like the character of us, but just like how this group of students thinks, right? Because we're always on our toes. We're always
That's
thinking
true.
ahead.
Yeah.
Whereas, some people I know are just kind of like complacent and like, oh, I'm going to get my undergrad, I'm going to take a gap year, and then I'm going to go to med school or I'm going to apply to PA school. And I'm like, that's great.
Yeah.
But
I'm glad
we
you
all-
figured it out.
we
yeah.
all,
yeah.
but like we all want to reach. Like we're
That's
all
true.
really reaching really far. And I think that's really cool. And CASE is probably one of the best incubators for us to attend. I truly believe that.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, what do you like the most about Case Western? And it doesn't even have to be about the school or just like the Cleveland area. So you've been in the United States for what now, 5-6 years?
Yeah.
So, going from Missouri, right, to Cleveland, how is it?
I would say 180-degree change.
No way.
Yeah, really, because in my Missouri State when I was there, and we just had one building for literally like applied sciences, like chemistry, geography, biology, everything in one building, and physics has its own department with engineering. They have to share this. But when I came to CASE, I was like, wow, we have our own building and whatnot. Like, we have, like, different sectors, like, hospitals, and it's a massive, like, collaboration with, UH and Metro Clinic, Metro Health.
When I first came here and I saw the BRB, the one with the
Yeah.
green top, every single one of those windows, I was like, are those classrooms or what?
Mm-hmm.
They're all labs.
Yes.
Every single one of those windows. And it's like 12 stories or something.
Yeah.
And like the view from the top is so
Exactly.
beautiful.
It just
So
amazes me.
They
yeah.
prioritize research here a
They
lot.
do. They really walk the walk.
They do walk the
Yeah.
I remember coming here and I asked for like a campus tour, like just to see a couple buildings.
Yeah.
And I remember walking into Wolstein, like the new one for the first time, the new research building, and I could not believe it because your applied sciences had one building.
Yes.
My undergraduate university had one building and built a second one my sophomore year, and it was just a nursing and athletic
That
training
is so
building.
sad. Yeah.
So you had a biology building. I had a biology floor.
we also had a floor for biology only. But I felt like the sad part about like the university really paid for like economics, business, humanities subject more than they really cared about science. And
then coming to an institution
exactly.
that is all science and business based.
Exactly. I'm happy. I am happy where I am. And when I saw that, wow, cases going all out on research, and they have their own GMP facility. I don't know if you guys talked about this year.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know what GMP really means yet.
That's good manufacturing practice. So
It's
basically,
the FDA's,
clinical trials.
what they use to process stem cells.
Mm-hmm.
So
we have until like phase 2, right? They're building the clean rooms for phase 2 now.
Yeah, and they're partnering with a bunch of hospitals nearby. So
That's
the lady
awesome.
that's in charge of the GMP here at CASE, we get to talk to her. You get to talk to her next
You'll
semester.
be there,
Sweet.
yeah.
So Samita and I were part of a group, and when we were rotating, we asked her, we're like, hey, why is there only one GMP lab in like this entire area?
Yeah.
She's like, actually, we're actually building one with Cleveland Clinic to build one in the clinic.
That's super cool.
One at Case, and then there's one at Metro, I think, or something.
Yeah.
So like, Cleveland Clinic would usually send their samples to Case, get it processed, and then had to send that stem cells back to Cleveland Clinic.
Yeah.
Now they're like, each facility's having their own lab, so they just process it in their own building, and like they all collaborate with data sharing and employees and stuff.
Yeah, they also do a lot of like private companies who don't have the facility to like go through, test their preclinical trial experiments. They do that here, and Case gets like they generate money through a lot of
I was gonna say that sounds like a lot of money. It's a good streamline of revenue for Case to pour right back into research.
I wish our program was a little like more out there, and I feel like Case does need to invest a little bit on their advertising.
Yeah.
So that we have more people in our program and we have scholarship opportunities, because coming to Case is really expensive.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it's like I'm still paying my tuition fees, and not many people will be encouraged to like pay this amount of money if they don't have the financial background.
I know a lot of people who go and I know a lot of people that I went to school with went and got masters or into PhDs.
Yeah.
And one of my big questions during my interview was like, are there any TAing positions, teacher assistant positions that can give me some, tuition reimbursement? And they were like, no, we don't have any. We're not. They're like, we weren't big enough to offer scholarships or that kind of stuff to our students. And I was like, man, that really sucks.
I know.
But I'm still going to go.
Sometimes I think it's just because we also joined an industry
brand
that is
new.
so
that is
up
true.
and coming.
Yeah.
Like if we were in what, like what?
2030?
Cell biology, or
if we were in what field? Like
if we were in.
But basically, if you were in
medicinal
software,
chemistry,
if we were in software,
software,
if we were in
IT.
coding, IT right now,
yeah.
and we were struggling finding jobs, that would suck. But like we're in like regenerative medicine. People don't even know what regenerative medicine is.
Yeah.
We just found out about like mRNA technology with vaccines, which has been developing for so long.
Right.
And there's gene therapies, and
we finally
there's so much happening.
Yeah. There's so much potential.
There is.
Yeah. Right now, I'm like looking for jobs since it's my last semester. I'm trying to look for cell therapy, but the options are so limited.
Yeah.
I just feel so discouraged because we have learned so much on and extensive knowledge of. I feel like we can offer a lot more than they have in out there.
I think what would really help the program grow is the website has some student sayings and some stories.
Yeah.
But I think they really need one person from this program to just hit just hit so big and make so much news, and then just be like, yeah, I don't even have a PhD. I have my master's in regenerative medicine and entrepreneurship from Case Western Reserve University.
That's so long.
That's
regenerative medicine and entrepreneurship from Case Western Reserve University.
But it's perfect.
It's a long title.
Such a long title.
But it's perfect because you hear that and you're like,
what is he talking about?
Oh, okay. That sounds interesting though, right? Because even when I read that for the first time, I was like, regenerative medicine and entrepreneurship. That sounds really cool.
So I didn't even know what it meant to be an entrepreneur. That word to me didn't mean anything.
Me neither.
I saw regenerative medicine. I'm like, science. I want to go in the medical field, but not be a doctor. So I was like, hell.
I think of Wolf of Wall Street when I think of entrepreneur, which is totally wrong.
That's
wrong.
not entrepreneurship. That's
scamming.
Scamming.
That's scamming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also feel like the class we are taking right now, Entrepreneurship and Good Life, you must take that.
Is that... You're taking it right now this fall?
Yeah, it's by Scott
That's
Laurie.
my Tuesday class, 6 to 8:30 p.m.
Fun.
He's an amazing instructor.
Yeah. I'm going to take entrepreneurial finance next semester.
You should. Yeah.
That's one thing. That's one of my weak points. I have the ideas. I feel like I have a pretty good managing like handle and managing people and projects.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to money and funding, I am lost. When you tell me to do a cash sheet or whatever it is, I'm no idea.
Honestly, we don't have that much experience in that area as well.
Yes.
But
Right.
you're learning.
We struggled a little bit.
And I think with this regenerative medicine RGME program, I'm not going to say it again. It's a tongue
it's
twister.
too long.
But with this RGME program, what I am finding is that, the science is really cool, and I could go get a lab job. Like, I could go work in a lab because I have the medicine side, I have the research side. But I also think that we have plenty of opportunities to go into biotech on kind of the business and creative and the development side, where you might not be pipetting everything, but you're able to read the papers and you're able to go to the business person and report to them. You can be like a middleman because you understand the business and what you need to do for the business, but you also understand the science.
Exactly.
And I think that being that middleman isn't as popular now, but it definitely will be as we get into more and more complex therapies that require more and more money and more people. So, I don't know. Maybe
I think so too. Like, I would say that kind of position would be like product specialist.
Yeah.
So you can like really be an integration of both sides.
I would love to do that, actually. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Because you're kind of managing people and you're pushing projects forward on the science side, but you're also trying to push a company forward.
Yeah.
Whether it's you're the CEO or running it, or you're the head of a division, and you're just reporting and reporting and reporting. I think that would be like honestly the perfect job for me. But
I think in the long run, nobody want to like stay in the lab and
forever.
kill mice.
I seriously cannot.
Do pipetting.
I can't.
Yeah.
And look, seeing all the technology we have in our world today, I don't know how pipetting is still a human job. I don't know why you can't put cells in a machine and get data.
At some time,
There
will be.
How
can a machine not just pipette it up?
It's crazy expensive.
Yeah, it's really expensive.
I'll show you a video after the podcast.
I feel like someone could make a machine.
Well, I'll show you a video
that
after the
could do
podcast.
amazing PCR.
I've used them before.
Like,
I used them.
You
I ran
just put
COVID
cells
tests.
in,
Yeah.
and then you put reagents in.
You know,
you put,
I feel
You
like
know, like,
commercial
but-
labs do that.
yeah, and they have to be automated.
I've used
Commercial labs
the
do
like
that.
there are things like that.
And then there's human error.
No, kind of.
Sometimes.
But okay, imagine this really quickly. I'll do this. Imagine this. It's on a table in front of you. It's got 3 wells, okay, and you put 3 different PCR plates on. You have your mixing plate, you have your regular plate, and then you have your master mix, right? So we use this. I got to kind of use this when I was an intern running COVID tests at a place called Gravity Diagnostics. So what they would do is they'd load everything up, and they had a machine that was automated, and you literally just hit the button, and all you had to do was move the thing for the machine to go down. So you would just hit a button, it would go down, suck everything up perfectly. You'd check to make sure there aren't any bubbles, and then you'd hit it, go back up, and then you'd slide it back over, and then it would just perfectly put it down in mix.
Yeah, I wish we had that in academic labs.
That's like commercialization.
Yeah.
Well, that's why
the amount of time
Gravity Diagnostics ran over 1 million COVID tests in a year, or over 1 million COVID tests in a year and a half, 18 months.
I think
that kind of stuff is why they were able to do it.
The futures of lab work is definitely just all theory based. In the future, you're gonna think of something, type it up. There should be a machine to test it out for you. The amount of discoveries that'll come out of that, because
it will be faster.
You don't have
Definitely.
humans in the lab doing it, messing it up, having to redo something, stabbing yourself. I've stabbed myself.
Yeah.
Like
downstream.
Why do you have to do all
jobs.
this?
Yeah, I feel like that's why a lot of companies nowadays, like last year, Novartis, they shut down like 2 branches.
No way.
Yeah, they did.
Like which manufacturing plant?
Yeah, no, they like acquired a company and they just sold it out. A lot of people they
No way.
Yeah, a lot of companies are doing that, and like layoffs, and because many jobs which are replaceable
by
machines. Yeah.
Athersys, but they failed their endpoint.
Yes.
They missed their endpoints.
Yeah.
They didn't.
They laid off 70% of
70% of their people. That's crazy.
That's too much.
Yeah, that's insane.
This year a lot
they
of
have
people.
CEO, CFO.
No, they have CEO, CFO.
And
They got their top executives still, but
Yeah, top executives,
Mm-hmm.
2 lab assistants, and 1 janitor.
Probably.
No.
I
Do you
bet you-
do you remember Dr.
Ting.
Anna Ting? Yeah, exactly, Dr. Ting. So I reached out to him. Like he was the CSO
Of
of
antibiotics.
Bone Therapeutics.
Bone therapeutics.
So he was like from a European company,
Mm-hmm.
and basically I reached out to him mainly for a job, but he said that his company even laid him off
Wow.
because they were bankrupt.
Yeah, and
So
that's
it's very risky.
and that's the thing too, is like going into this, it's very risky because science is really expensive.
It is.
So I've learned over the last couple lectures that I thoroughly enjoy technology and science.
Mhm.
I love all the instruments. I love working on the computer. I love
Yeah.
all the combinations that we're doing with
Yeah.
instruments. And you talk about why do we still have humans pipetting? Make friends with an engineer and don't make a medicine, make something that can aid in making medicine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another way to do it, because people are always looking for more efficient ways to be in the lab, and if you can figure that out, then
That's
I think
true.
you hit a gold mine.
Yeah.
And I think that people in our classes get so bogged down in like stem cells. You have to do stem cells, and it's like you don't have to do stem cells.
Exactly.
You can do something that can aid in stem cells to push it forward,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Definitely.
A simple thing that I would like to do. I have to inject mice in my lab,
Yeah.
and sometimes like you go to grab them by the neck, and hold them by their
Yeah.
tail, and they'll
Interfere
reach
with
around
you.
and they'll bite you,
Yeah.
and it's like that didn't feel great.
Yeah.
What if all you think about is like what the girls wear with their hair clips,
Yeah.
and all you do is just go down and grab them,
Yeah.
and it like keeps their legs in like this, and then you just inject them, and
That
they
would be
can't move
cool.
or anything.
Yeah.
How easy would that be? You could 3D print 100 of those.
Mm-hmm.
Customize it with
Yeah.
different names.
Exactly,
Colors,
exactly.
Make it personalizable.
But it's that kind of stuff that people look over because they're just like, I want to hit the big drug. I want to cure cancer. It's like, not one person's going to cure
It's a
cancer.
team
It's going to
effort,
be
dude.
not hundreds of people, but thousands of people who cure cancer.
Yeah. Also,
So-
start from a simple way. And
Exactly.
then just build it.
If there was that entire COVID effort, that same amount of effort of the whole global population
Yeah.
into one disease, I feel like we would eradicate stuff every year.
That's true.
1 year we just focus on diabetes, the entire world.
Yeah.
Dude,
Maybe.
I bet you diabetes, if the entire world dedicated
Yeah.
research to it.
Yeah.
Like, one by one, so many things would just be done.
Yeah.
But right now we have
Like fast
so
track
much,
it.
Yeah,
much
we,
going
have, we
on.
just have too much going on. So many people
Exactly.
confused. Too much papers out there, and fake papers too.
Oh
Some
my
people
God.
try and
Yeah.
release things that are not
That
Real or validated.
you cannot really stop
true.
them. Yeah.
I think I heard a stat. It's like 75% or more of papers published are not replicable.
Oh,
Like
wow.
no one can replicate them. So it goes back to the fake paper, which is terrible.
Mhm.
So that felt more like a podcast than an interview. Just sitting here
Yeah.
talking. That was great.
Yeah.
So one last question. If you could go back 3, 4, 5 years from now and talk to your past self, what would you tell her, and what would you tell maybe a flowering graduate student who's like looking for new places or looking for some advice?
I would how many years back though?
Oh, it doesn't. It
Just
just
a younger
just a
version
of
younger
yourself.
version
That
of you.
was
I would
just like-
I would tell myself not to stress out too much. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna work out anyway. Like just keep your head up and keep on looking. If it doesn't, don't take rejections personally, and keep on going. If there's 10 things and 9 things does not work out, only one thing works. Focus on that.
Mhm.
Like what we learned in our entrepreneurship class. Focus on the success. Not only failures. They don't really mean that you're bad. It just means they're not right for you.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
You're
That was
welcome.
great.
You're
Yeah, that
welcome.
was a great podcast. I feel like we covered a lot.
Yeah.
That 30 minutes passed very, very fast. So
Yeah.
all right. Well, Heem, do you have anything?
Thanks for coming.
Thank
Hopefully
you
we get
for-
to see you more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for inviting me.
Definitely, if you know more people that
Yeah.
would benefit from sharing their story, let
Yeah.
us know. We'd love to interview them too.
Yeah.
And have
Yeah.
you back on with them
That
too,
would
or
be great.
something. This is the first time we've actually used these chairs also.
Really?
Usually we use these ones and they're
Oh.
so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But it looks cool.
I think that's why we had such a good
Yeah,
conversation
yeah.
today. Cause like
We're
we're
relaxed.
sitting down.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well,
Yeah.
Heem, do you have anything else?
That's all for me.
I just
guys.
want to say thank you one more time for coming back
Thank
on.
you.
So I'm
Let
Nick,
me
that
know.
team. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let me know if you want to partner up in the future. I would love to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
sure.
Absolutely. So,
Yeah.
all right. Anything else?
That's all.
All right. Well, I'm Nick, that team. We just want to say thank you one more
Samita, yeah.
time. So have a good one, guys. It's been Sal to Sal.
See ya.
Bye.